We're joined by Jackson Hsieh of UBS to discuss some of the trends of re-equitization in the REIT market. Jackson, do you think that this trend towards re-equitization has legs?
On the re-equitization wave, I think one of the interesting statistics as to why maybe it has legs, if you look at the RMZ in the United States, back in its peak in 2007, I think the overall RMZ had a market capitalization of $420 billion. That number dropped in March of 2009 to $100 billion. So it had a tremendous loss in equity value. This year, with the recent re-equitization situations that have come about, the market cap of the RMZ is now sitting at $200 billion. So it's almost seen a 100% increase, in terms of return and increase in overall market capitalization. So I think the interesting thing is, positive thing is, investors have made money if they got into REITs this year. So that's a good thing. Second is there's virtually no new lending to increase supply and square footage in the United States. So I think that's a good thing. There's concern about inflation, I think, which ultimately will be a good thing for real estate assets. And finally, the economy looks like, if you listen to Bernanke and others, it's beginning to turn. So, the road to recovery may, in fact, actually begin to have some positive impact. And that's all going to be very well and good for the public real estate companies that are out there. So I think they're going to continue to trade at a premium, have access to capital, and this virtuous cycle will sort of continue until the debt picture gets fixed in the United States.
What about major developments in the international market? What's going on there?
Well, we've seen the major re-equitization in the UK, right? All the UK majors re-equitized earlier this year. We see the same thing in Australia late last year, and then they actually followed through again this year, sort of. And once again, those are what I'd call more recapitalizing, dealing with the existing debt. And so I think those, and then I think also in areas like Singapore and Hong Kong, largely the same sort of phenomenon. I think the interesting part will be economies like China, Russia, Brazil, India, where they still have very high GDP growth. There's still quite a bit of demand for new space, new housing, new infrastructure. And the valuations for property companies in those markets have really recovered. In China, for instance, there's been full recovery from a multiple standpoint of peak 2007 level for the property companies, and that's why you're seeing a big queue of IPOs get done. I mean, there was a company that just completed an IPO last week. They raised $1.3 billion in an IPO, and it was a company called Glorious. It's a Shanghai-based property company, development company.
Thank you, Jackson. For more information on this and other REIT news and analysis, check out REIT.com.